You know, I need a mane. Right. I'm starting to get thin up here. I'm like, how these guys hold on to it?
Yeah.
You know? I wonder what dictates who loses hair and who doesn't. You know, like I'm starting to get a little thin there, man.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter picks on me every time. Like when she's like, if I got her on my back or something, she's like, "Ooh, Dad." I was like, "What?" Then she was like, "Ooh." I was like, "It's not my fault." I
can't do nothing about it.
I can't do nothing about it, man. You know, I'm trying my best to, you know, funny. Like I cut my own hair, right? I've been cutting my hair for 20 years. I finally got good at it. But once I started to get good at it, I started to lose more hair, you know, than I'm cutting, you know. So now I got to like kind of fade it, you know, a little bit higher. Got to bring my fade up a little bit more, you know, to try to blend it, you know, from the thinness. But it is what it is.
I don't even try.
You don't even try. You just take the one guard and just go to
one guard, go to
and just do it.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Take the one guard and I'm done with it. I don't, you know.
Take the one and done.
I've even
one and done.
Sometimes in the summertime I hit that 0 where it's just like a little fuzz on top and that's it, you know, just enough because I've shaved it before. But you have to maintain that. You have to keep on shaving it. But if you just trim it down real short about once a
Oh, you talking about a 0, like all the way down to the grain.
Just as close as it'll go without having been shaved.
Yeah, you got to still top up.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'll do that and then I'll just let it grow back. Okay. But as far as actually taking a razor to it and getting it really, really shaved, I'm not fixing to go to all that trouble. I've done it before and I'm not going to play with it.
That's every 2 days you'll have this thing.
At least, yeah. Whereas this way, I shave it down and then when it gets long enough to where it bugs me, I hit it again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not in the club on Friday night. You know what I'm saying? And nobody cares.
I hear you.
There's a lot of puns there. You said one and done and I hit it again. Like, which one is it? What's going to be?
That's funny.
No, I used to be on that too. Pierre. It's Perrier. How you say that? Perrier.
Ah.
Is it French? Ooh.
Okay.
Let me get some Grey Poupon and some Dun Perignon. You know, let me get a bit of both, you know. Some tea and Triscuits.
Tea and Triscuits.
I'm just tripping, man.
He's the tea and Triscuits.
Tea and Triscuits. That's the word of the day right there. Tea and Triscuits. Not tea and biscuits.
Nope. Not tea and crumpets.
So in England, they call crackers biscuits, right?
Yeah. Cookies biscuits, I think, too.
No, yeah, cookies are biscuits. Is it cookies? What are crackers?
I don't know. Because I
saw something on the internet. They had like British kids trying American food. And it was sausage gravy and biscuits. But when they said biscuits, I think they meant cookie.
Yes, they do call cookies biscuits there. And I know they have something called tea and crumpets there as well.
What's a crumpet?
Crumpet is like it's a small cake. It's like a finger cake type of thing.
A crumpet. Okay.
They got fish and chips as well.
They do have fish and chips.
The fish and chips. And they put mayo on their fries. They use mayo like ketchup. Like how we use ketchup here is how they use mayo.
You know what they do in
vinegar as well. They use like vinegar, like malt vinegar.
They use white vinegar in Canada. I saw them using white vinegar in Canada, but malt vinegar now I put it on a lot of stuff, man. I put malt vinegar on catfish instead of keeping lemons in the house all the time. I keep a bottle of malt vinegar and I use that on my catfish. I do. It's not as good as lemons, but it's close, and then I don't have to worry about lemons, you know. And I cook a lot of catfish, so you know. Well,
malt vinegar.
Malt vinegar.
I'm more of a malt liquor type of guy.
Now we're talking.
So I've drank a little malt liquor in my life. What kind of? If you were drinking a malt liquor, what would it be?
Coke 45.
2 zigzags, baby. That's all we need.
Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Oh, that's crazy. We're 4 minutes in. We are recording.
Okay. Good deal.
So,
we got a guest today.
Hey, don't do that for me.
We don't have a bio, do we?
Oh, yes. My apologies there.
You know, that's a good idea. Make them give their own bio. We're new to this. You're our third guest.
Thank you for having me.
And as of the time of this recording, none of those guest episodes have been public yet, right? Coming soon. Time you hear this, they will have already been out, though, so that's going to be kind of silly. We're here today with Dylan Russell.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Dylan is the owner and founder and proprietor and all of the hats of a company called Sauce Daddy. Why is it called Sauce Daddy?
Because I'm the daddy. I mean, what do you want me to say? I'm playing. No, just my boys. I do jujitsu. I train at 10th Planet, and when I started the company, I brought in some samples for all of them to try. So they were all just in there joking around. They're all Neanderthals like me. So they were like, I guess you're the sauce daddy now, huh? So it kind of stuck. I was like, that rolls off the tongue a little bit, you know? So any excuse to have someone call me daddy, I got to roll with. So.
Well, I have at least one bottle of Sauce Daddy in my refrigerator at home now.
Mm-hmm.
It's great in chili. That's my favorite. Put it in chili and put however much you need and then a little bit extra. It'll light you up, that's for sure.
Appreciate it, yeah. No, we try to make something that tastes good, too.
You make a mild sauce.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Madeline eats that. I'm messing with you.
Oh.
Madeline's my baby.
Yeah.
Madeline is pretty tough, but I don't know. I've given her a couple times. She's gotten a bite of eggs that had some Tabasco in it or something. You know, that's the one thing is that she eats off of my plate. So I got to be careful when like if I cook fish, I usually put a bunch of cayenne pepper on it before I fry it up. But if she's eating off my plate, I try not. But maybe I should just give her the cayenne.
You got to start them young, man.
Let her just be used to the capsaicin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I think that's really how people do it. If it's a part of your culture, if it's a part of what you eat, it's just what you eat. You know, you get used to it.
Hot sauce is good for the immune system.
It is.
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
At least I believe it. May not be a fact, but I think it. Don't believe everything you think.
It's a diuretic for me.
Uh-oh.
If you call it, get a cleanse.
Cleansing, yes, sir.
Cleansing, hey, I tell Shade all the time, pepper spicy to me. You know,
Yeah.
I got your mild sauce, and I'm like, oh man, every time I eat something so hot, I regret it. Coming out, going in like, oh man, that's hot, that's good, but oh my goodness, on that tail end, it's rough.
So the mild is hot.
The mild is just right.
Okay.
Like Goldilocks. You know what I'm saying? I tried this bed. Oh, that was too hard. Big Papa bed, the Sauce Daddy bed. Yeah. I tried Mama bed. Oh, that's too soft. I get to Junior bed. It's like, ooh, that's just Sauce right. You know what I'm saying? I need that bow.
I hear you, man.
Wow.
It's funny. It's funny because I've seen people try the mild and jump through the roof of the tent, man. And it's funny because the way that we got to the mild was that the too hot was actually our original version, but then we kept having our consumer base say that they loved the flavor, but it was just too spicy, right? So then we made the medium. The medium was supposed to be the mild. It was still too spicy, so then that's when we made the mild. And now people are still jumping through the tent saying it's too hot. And I literally, with the mild, I cannot even taste the heat. I really can't.
The too hot is hot.
Too hot is hot.
As somebody who likes hot sauce, I put, the too hot is hot.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a good combination of heat and flavor.
I appreciate that.
And sometimes you can get, like a ghost pepper is hot. To my palate, there's not a flavor to it at all. Maybe it's because it overpowers my taste buds.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't make sense to me. But the too hot sauce is a nice blend, and I think the way the lime brings out the heat is, it's good stuff, man.
I appreciate that.
And now that it comes into winter, and I'll be making stews and split pea soup and chilies. And, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love those long cooks. I like to smoke a big piece of meat and then use part of it in a stew and then part of it for something else.
Mm-hmm.
I got a whole pork loin on sale at Sam's and put half of it in some pinto beans and pork, just old-fashioned beans and pork. That's good eating.
Yeah.
But anyways, not about my dinner time. No sense in making this all about me, right? How'd you get started, Dylan?
How did I get started?
I'm sorry, man.
What was that?
No, I cracked myself up. No, how did you get started with Sauce Daddy? Tell us a little bit about the origin of this company.
Yeah. Honestly, it was pretty serendipitous. I always grow a garden every summer. And the summer of 2020, that's when I started the business. I was growing herbs, peppers, a bunch of different peppers. I had habanero peppers. I had some ghost peppers. I had some jalapeno peppers, basil, rosemary, a bunch of different things trying to see what took, And out of all those things, my habanero plant was by far the most successful. It exploded. I want to say over a month, I had maybe 500 habanero peppers that I had to figure out what I was going to do with, So really, I was just sort of looking at all these peppers, just trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do with these? Because obviously I'm not just going to watch them, rot in my kitchen.
Sure.
And my mom's, she's from Guyana. My father's Caribbean. He's from Trinidad. So pepper sauce is a very big part of their lives. I've grown up my whole life watching my mom make pepper sauce. So she does this all the time. She'll get a bunch of peppers, get them with like garlic and a bunch of other spices, and then just pickle them in white vinegar and just leave them on the counter. And then anytime she wants pepper sauce, she'll just blend them up, throw them into whatever we're eating. That's what we're eating that day. So
that sounds fantastic.
It's good. It's really good. It's really good. So I just had that inspiration. And so I first started pickling the peppers the same way that my mom did, So I was pickling them with onions and garlic and a couple other things that I had in the garden. And that was the start of the business. I started blending them up. And luckily, I come from an engineering background, so everything I was doing, I was also documenting, and got a recipe that I thought was kind of cool. Used some of my friends as guinea pigs. We went camping, I believe. I want to say it was maybe October. We went camping at this place called Rocktown. It's kind of like a bouldering field / it's like one of the largest caving systems in the Southeast, actually. So we were going out there to rock climb. So I was in charge of food duty. So I picked up some frozen Bubba burgers on the way there, was frying them up, didn't tell anybody that I was going to have them tried, just threw them on the burgers real quick. And then everyone was like, man, what did you put in here? It's so good. I was like, oh yeah, it's just this sauce that I was making, So I got a lot of good feedback from them. And then that's when I really was like, I think that if I put some energy towards this, they might be able to go somewhere, So just been holding on to it with 2 clenched fists, putting as much energy as I can into it to make it into something. And here we are 3-4 years later.
So I got to circle back and ask about something, though. Far be it for me to bring up something sideways.
Mm-hmm.
You tried out your new hot sauce recipe on your buddies while you were camping.
Yep.
Not only that, but they didn't know they were trying this new hot sauce. So if, for instance, one of them had been Q.
Oh, Q.
And we'd have been in the woods, we'd have had a serious situation on our hands.
Yeah.
Hey, man, listen, if you can't do it to your friends, who can you do it to?
Hey, exactly.
Hey, it wouldn't be does a bear ish in the woods. It'd be does cute ish. I'm telling you, man.
Hey.
Wow. So you say your dad's from Trinidad.
Yes.
And your mom's from Guyana.
Yes, Guyana. Mm-hmm.
How close are they to one another? How far they are?
Very close. So Guyana is next to Venezuela. It's in South America, and Trinidad is off the coast of Guyana.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're fairly close.
All right. And how did they come together?
Man, as shameful as it is to say, I don't know, man.
You don't even know.
I need
you never
to
asked Bob.
I have not asked them how they met.
How did you get with a Trinidadian?
Yeah.
Trinidadian.
Yeah.
Is that the term, Trinidadian?
Yeah, Trinidadian. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, how did you get with my
dad?
dad?
No, I need to ask him. And funny enough, this is the second time someone's asked me that question, and
you don't even know.
And I did not know the first time, and I was like, man, I gotta ask him. So hopefully the shame locks in this time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call her as soon as I get out of here because I need to know that story.
How did you and Dad hook up? It's always strange how people hook up. You see, like their origin stories.
Yeah.
And they created you, which is a very good thing.
Yes, definitely thankful for that.
From that hookup. Y'all ever thought about everyone you see as a result of successful sex, I guess is a way to put it. Every person living. Yeah, we got the in vitro going on now, but that's only maybe 1% of people being born. If that. 99% of the people you see came from a sexual encounter.
Those couples that are like, we're trying to get pregnant. We've been trying for weeks, all day, every day. Like, okay, we know what that means. We get it. We just keep trying and trying and trying. We tried over here, over there. It's like, yeah, we get it. You're trying to have a baby.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Y'all behave.
No, my bad. hey, I'm just following y'all lead, you know. I appreciate it because, you know, I'll get a little rowdy by accident. So I'm glad that you opened the door.
Oh, we do it intentionally. So when did you start Sauce Daddy officially? As far as,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it wasn't legal necessarily, but, you know, when was the first time you set up as Sauce Daddy somewhere and sold your sauce?
First time I set up a booth and sold Sauce Daddy was September of last year. I want to say September 21st of last year. So we just cleared our first year doing markets.
Congratulations.
This month. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I thought it'd been a little bit longer than that. My bad. So
no.
when I think we all met at the same event, did we not?
Whistle Stop. I wanted.
Yep.
Stop Barbecue
That's when I
Festival.
first
Yeah.
met you.
Yep.
So you
You're
were
right next to
brand
me.
spanking
That was
new.
your
Oh,
first
yeah.
event. The Whistle Stop.
Yeah. So the first that was the first event I ever did. The first farmers market I ever did was Mid City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I guess I didn't realize that at the time.
Yep.
I'm sure you
September
told me,
24th.
but, you know, I don't pay good attention.
Hey, none of us do.
Wow. That's pretty incredible. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we were there the first time. Well, and I'm sure we saw you at Mid City the first time too then because we're always there. you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah. That's way cool. All right. So a year in,
Yes, a year in.
you still glad you started doing it?
100%.
Okay.
It was definitely a turning point of the business for sure.
So, unlike some of our other guests, you still have a day job. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
So one question we've asked people before is, what was the turning point, or what was the point where you left the security of a day job and went full time with what it is that you're doing? You haven't gotten to that point yet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's do you think that's in your future?
Oh, yes, 100%. 100%.
Do you have a timetable?
By the end of the year.
Wow, that's aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. 2 months.
Yeah.
2-3 months.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'm at this spot to where I really just want to dive. I just want to dive. And if it burns, it burns. And if it soars, it soars. But I need
Damn
to
the
be in that
torpedoes,
position. Yeah.
full speed ahead.
Yeah. I feel like it's very important. It's the same reason why I want to do so I train MMA and I really want to do a fight. I've been training for about 3 years to do one. And it's kind of the same reason why I want to do a fight. It's not like I want to be Conor McGregor or anything, but it's very important to me that I get in that cage and I see who I am, you know. I want to see if I blink in there. And I think it's very important that as a man trying to create a business with what I want it to be, that you just got to jump in with both feet. I've thought to myself, when have I ever jumped into something with both feet and said that this is my only plan and it's going to succeed, you know, or it's going to fail. But either way, I'm going to put my all into it and there is no plan B. That's very
Balls,
important
cried
to
the
me.
queen. If I had them, I'd be king.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what it takes.
Mhm.
You know, that's what it takes. All in, or you don't have to. It can be a hobby.
Yeah.
It can be a hobby. So, what is it that's so bad about? Because you've got a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
Went to college for this job.
I did. Yeah.
What's so bad about that you can't stand it anymore and you got to go out on your own?
Yeah, it's not even, I wouldn't say it's something so bad that I can't stand it, but if I had to choose between something that someone else has built and something that I've built that has the potential to be something greater, I'm going to choose that every time. I'd rather be destitute. Well, let's not say destitute, but if I was making 200 grand working for somebody else or 50 grand working for myself, I'm gonna choose 50. That's just kind of how I'm wired. I really do not like, personally, I do not like, what's the word? Having to be on someone else's ticket, having to be beholden to someone else. Exactly.
I call it a wage slave.
Exactly.
It's really slavery, paid slavery.
It's the new type of slavery.
Yeah, it's the new slavery. You know, they gonna give you just enough to get by and just enough to keep coming back.
Just enough to pay your bills.
Just enough so you come back. You know what I'm saying? And oh my goodness. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 30.
It's amazing you figured it out at 30.
I appreciate that.
Some people go their whole life and never figure it out. Or they wait till their 40s or 50s and finally be like, man, what have I been doing my whole life? What if I would have started 30 years ago?
That's me.
What if you would have started at 30?
What if I would have started at 30?
You know?
I've asked myself that question as the grandfather of the room, as it were. But I'm 53, so I'm older than anybody here. And what would you give to go back? Okay, if I'd gone back to 30, I couldn't have done. I didn't know then. I didn't know enough. I was not as mature at 30. I wasn't as sure of myself at 30, as Mr. Dillon here is. It took me a little bit longer, for whatever reason. It is what it is. But boy, I wish I'd have done it even when I was 40. 10 years makes a big difference, you know? Yeah. And then maybe I wouldn't have had to unravel so much anger from working 15 years at a job I hated, you know?
You're a curmudgeon. You're a curmudgeon. I had to get my word together.
I'm good at it too.
Yeah, curmudgeon. But I'm 39, almost 40, and I just started 4 years ago. What if I would have started at 30? You know, or 20 or 25?
Sure.
You know, I would have been 10 years, 15 years ahead of where I'm at now in life. You know, who knows what? You know, I could have a hustling pop truck on every corner by now. You know, or it be in the stores or whatever.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, man. Good job.
I appreciate that, my man. Yeah, no, it's just I've kind of always just been that way, just in my gut. I just don't like listening to people. I really don't.
I think that's a common theme in this room, is it not?
Yeah.
I think that's a common theme.
As soon as someone tells me go right, I'm like, why? I'm going left. You know what I mean? And not to say if someone tells me to go right and right is the right way to go, I'm not gonna go right just to disagree with you. But just to...
But I need you to tell me why right is the correct way to go.
Exactly.
Explain to me why that's right. Well, so-and-so said it's right. Okay, but why did they say it? Here's an example. I was in the restaurant business for a while, so for a long time I was up on serve safe codes and that kind of thing. The whatever governing body it is that makes recommendations for you at your home, they don't recommend that you wash poultry. Like if you got a chicken and you're going to cook it, they don't recommend that you wash it before you cook it. I guess they want you to take it right out of whatever packaging it's in and put it right in the oven or whatever. But when you drill down and find out why it is, they say because water splashing might get around the sink and might spread that bacteria. So really what they're saying is not that you shouldn't wash your chicken, because you probably still should wash your chicken, but the government doesn't trust you to wash up around your sink good after you wash your chicken. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's so to me asking why, why do I need this? Well, because of this. Okay, but why? We're finding out now that, every generation medical advice evolves and matures as it should. But as we learn more and become more sophisticated, a lot of the things we used to do aren't considered safe anymore.
Yeah.
Used to be doctors smoked and they would recommend certain brands of cigarettes as safer or not safer, It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So I think it's always appropriate to ask why.
Yeah. I agree. That's something that I find so interesting because it always seems like there always pops up to be some news story of something that we thought was true that turned out to be pretty clearly false. 2 years ago, right? But then you'll talk to somebody, just some random person, and they have such a strong belief in whatever thing we've been told to believe at this current moment. It's like there seems to be this discontinuity between all these things that we have seen are proven false, which we hope to be proven false because things have to be proven false in order for us to progress. But then people still have this staunch belief in whatever we happen to be told at the current time. It just doesn't really make any sense to me.
And sometimes that becomes generational. And now you've got a whole group of people, the whole world sometimes. Sometimes it's not just one, country or region or whatever it is. It might be the whole world that does something just because it's always been that way.
Like, for example, black people always vote Democrat. I grew up a Democrat.
Okay.
I mean, just to throw it out there. I mean, that's the
Throw it
first
out
thing
there,
come
keep the
to
messenger.
mind when y'all say this. You know, like,
Yes, sir. But you're
and,
right.
and we never been smart enough to ask, why do we vote Democrat? You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's just what we do. That's
Yeah.
who we are. We're Democrats.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's a whole other thing to unpack.
Yeah,
When it comes to like the
that just came
Democratic
to mind.
Party. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Vote Democrat. What does a Democrat
If you don't
do
vote for me,
you
you
know?
ain't black.
Yeah, you ain't black.
Really?
I think Biden said that out
Yes,
loud.
he
Biden
sure
came
did.
on there, hey, you know, yeah. Biden had the balls to say that. You know,
That's more than
That's more than, I guess it's balls, but that's
pretty ballsy.
that's hubris for sure.
Yeah.
he was playing into the stereotype.
That would be bad enough if he were black.
I don't
Yeah.
even know if it was
Yeah.
Can you
But
consider something true? A
The how brazen you have to be to say that.
Oh,
And that's
sure,
the
a lot
thing.
of stereotypes are true.
You know what I'm saying?
Like Asian women can't drive. I mean, I'm sorry. No, I didn't. But I mean,
I say
Okay.
but listen, a lot of stereotypes are true. That's how they become stereotypes.
Yeah.
But I think that goes, to me, that goes so far beyond a stereotype to say that if you don't, again, if it had been a black person, if Barack Obama had said that, I think it would have been offensive. The fact that Biden said it, it's almost so absurd that you almost can't even. They almost can't even take it seriously. I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but it's just like it's. He did say it, and he did mean
Yeah.
it. He did mean it. Now that's for sure. And when you get somebody that's that delusional that they would say something that crazy, we should have seen the writing on the wall then. That be like, hey, you know what, dude? Listen, that's one of those.
Yeah.
You might as well have almost said the N-word.
But that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
really.
That's not even the most brazen thing he's ever said. Have you heard of some of the stuff he said when he was younger? When he literally
heard,
called
but-
black people monkeys, didn't he?
I don't know.
Something about keeping
Wow.
the monkeys at bay or something.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Biden.
In
Well,
Congress. Yeah.
wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's not even the wildest thing that he said with his chest out.
It makes grabbing by the seem not quite so bad to me.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I'm not saying it's
I hear
okay,
Yeah.
but wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I
think
mean,
I think
hey.
it just kind of illustrates the absurdity. If any of us acted the way our politicians act in a job, if you acted that way in your employment, Dylan, forget about it.
Oh, yeah. It'd be a wrap.
It wouldn't be your day one, first time. It would not be an apology. You can apologize on your way out, but it'll be through a security guard with
Yeah.
a box in your hand. If you get that, there would be no second chances. And when it comes to our politicians, one of the people running for president is a convicted felon. Has that ever happened in history of the United States?
I mean, not convicted. I'd say that they've committed crimes.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all remember Watergate.
Mm.
But, and not to say that Trump might not have done the same thing that some other people have done. I've heard, everything's supposedly political, but one way or another, in a court of the law of the land or whatever, he's a convicted felon. And you can't vote for president as a convicted felon, but you can run for president. That's welcome to America.
Yeah.
I love this country. Don't get me wrong. Love this country. I love it enough to stand up and say this is stupid when it does something stupid, And
Damn, Trump can't vote for himself.
That's hilarious. Oh yeah, that's that whole scene where you go into the box. Yeah.
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 I think in some states it's actually illegal but I don't know about the federal elections now. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, he can't even vote for him.
That's funny.
Very, very funny.
That's funny.
Look, he'll just walk up to the poll and go up to the booth and just kind of stand there for a minute and turn around. Maybe he'll, do a little wiggle or something, shake his ass, and he'll walk back out or something.
That's
I
funny.
didn't even think about that.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out America.
shout out America.
Shout out America.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Is he legit convicted? Like, is it?
I think so.
okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
he's a legit felon.
Like
Right.
gavel, like we're just waiting. I see.
yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's amazing.
What were the counts for? Was it something about how I heard it was something about how he estimated the value of his properties or something like that?
I couldn't even tell you.
I think he greatly undervalued some of his properties to
Or
avoid
overvalued.
tax. I think maybe he overvalued. Man, there you go.
Mhm.
I don't know. Hell.
I think they were just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks.
I do think when you get to that
Yeah.
level, you probably commit a felony every day.
Yeah,
in some
probably so. Yeah.
technical way.
Yeah.
They were just throwing stuff at the wall, throwing stuff at them.
yeah.
Well, something's gonna stick.
Do you think that's why they did it? That they just wanted to be able to call him a convicted felon in the news?
I think they thought it would make him go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else probably would have bowed out. Anybody else, the Republican Party would have said, "No, you're a convicted felon. You can't do it." But this is Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He would vote as an independent. He would run as an independent,
Yeah.
and probably still win.
Yeah.
Even without the Republican Party.
Because you hear that phrase, felon, you're a convicted felon. That could be a whole smorgasbord of the worst things.
Correct.
And then you ask, like, so wait, so what did you do? Oh, I overvalued my properties. Oh, so you went on what's that? Man, I forgot the app where you can go on there and put your house up for sale.
Zillow?
Yeah, you went on
Zillow
Zillow,
or something
and said
like
your
that.
house cost $500,000 when it was really $350.
Right. Yeah.
You did that 30 times.
Back in my day, we called that fronting.
Yeah, right.
He was, he's rich, but he wants to seem richer.
Yeah.
Drives a Lamborghini on a Volkswagen body. You ever seen those?
Yeah.
There's some subjectiveness to a point for appraising your house, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, 500,000. You have comparables, but then you can say, well, my grass is actually a special breed of grass
Right.
that doesn't show up on this, but it's another 3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the economy that we've had where the housing boom came, you could say, well, those comps are based on older sales and the market's hot right now and it's moving faster. That was the case in my neighborhood. I saw some houses go for some kind of silly numbers and they, but people from California were buying them sight unseen. This doctor bought a house in our neighborhood
Cash money.
without ever having been here. He just saw it. He needed a base. He's like, I'm spending X amount of money because he traveled back and forth regularly and he was spending a bunch of money on hotels. He's like, listen, okay, so if I spent $30,000 last year on hotels, it didn't matter what this house costs. I'll pay it. And to him, $250,000 for a house was cheap, even though 5 years ago that house price sold for $89,999, $89,999 or whatever. Like a used car. But of course, you ain't buying anything for $89,999 now.
No.
That's for sure. You could rent somebody's garage for that, maybe.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
But I bought my house back way before this boom happened. So it's kind of cool to be in a position like I am because on paper, the house is worth a whole bunch of money, a whole bunch more than what I paid for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the thing is, I still got to live somewhere.
Yeah, you got to buy another house.
So I'd have to buy another house, and that same amount of money would buy me about my house.
The same
so I might
house.
as well stay where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got a decent little house, so I'm just going to stick around and build another deck in the backyard. I'm fixing to build Madeline a swing set.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's
nice.
going to be cool. I'm fixing. I was out there looking at it today, going, "Oh yeah, this is what I need to do." She wants a slide. Anyways, this is not about my daughter. This is about Dylan Russell from Sauce Daddy.
Shout out Dylan.
Shout out Dylan and Sauce Daddy.
Appreciate y'all.
Hey, tell me your mother's name.
Joylene.
Joylene. Shout out Joylene. I remember
Love
you,
you, Mom.
even though I forgot your name, but we spent some time talking with one another at the Whistle Stop Barbecue Festival. Had actually a good afternoon that was going to be a crappy afternoon had I not enjoyed the conversation. So thanks for being there for me because that was a rough day, I think, for all of us.
Should make many a day brighter.
It was fun. It was fun. So, end of the year. And then what?
End of the year, and then I'm full blown in Sauce Daddy. Just trying to get it as big as I can, any way that I can.
Any big announcements coming up that you want to shout out?
Nothing in particular.
Okay.
There's a couple things, a couple irons that we have in the fire when it comes to, I guess, kind of increasing brand awareness around Huntsville. But they're all pretty nascent, so nothing that I can really speak on yet. But definitely we'll have some news in the future soon.
Cool. So, tell me a story.
Tell you a story.
You've been doing this for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've seen something funny, something cool.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what, think on it, and I'll tell you a story about this weekend.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So this past weekend, I was in Gay, Georgia at the Cotton Fair. That's a little over a 4-hour drive from Huntsville. As an enterprising old businessman, not a young businessman, but as an old businessman, I'm always interested in cutting costs wherever I can. And I may not have mentioned it on this podcast, but sometimes when I go on these out-of-town trips and I don't bring my family, I do what they call stealth camping, which means I make a bed in the back of my van and I sleep in an abandoned parking lot somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways to achieve hygiene, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know the specifics on that, we can certainly talk, but it's not nasty. There's nothing wrong with it. A lot of people live in their vans. It's just for a couple of nights, and it saves a lot of money on hotels. And no, I'm not embarrassed. So this past weekend, I was stealth camping, and it was late. I was parked in a parking lot, secure, about ready to go to bed, and I got restless. And anyways, ended up walking down to a Walmart, which was probably 500 yards of a walk, just a stroll at nighttime. But this is in a city. Not in Gay, Georgia, by the way. There's nothing there. But as I did, I passed 3 homeless people. One of them asked me for a cigarette. I don't smoke, so of course I didn't have a cigarette to give him. And then a lady with a shopping cart full of her probably entire life's belongings. And then there was somebody in the bushes. I'm not real sure what was going on in there. Maybe had to relieve themselves or whatever. I don't know. But I see these 3 homeless people as I'm walking over to Walmart just because I had the munchies, really. And got me thinking about homeless people and, the life they must live. And then it got me thinking about anybody that's driving by right now that sees me. They thought they saw 4 homeless people because I'm walking, amongst the people of the night, as it were, or whatever,
The night crawlers.
The night crawlers were out there looking for you. But, I was out there. And then what really occurred to me was for tonight, I am one of them. I had a van to sleep in. And it's kind of, then I start thinking, well, don't get all high and mighty. You got a van to sleep in that's got plenty of gas in it. All you got to do is crank it up and you're gone. You have food in your van, money in your pocket, credit cards in your wallet, a pistol if somebody comes, you are very secure compared to these folks who are truly sometimes at the mercy of society, at the mercy of their own incapabilities, whatever it is. I don't know. It was one of those times when you really think about the way other people live other than you and how easily you could be in that situation.
Oh, yeah.
We had the 3 of us met at the coffee shop. I'm not going to say the name of it unless they sponsor us. Hey, guys, you know who you are.
No free promo.
Sponsor us. We're looking for you. You do have delicious coffee. We love it. But we were at the coffee shop this evening, and we met a guy. What was his name, Q?
Dan the Man.
Shout out Dan the Man.
Danny.
But we've seen Dan the Man moving around Huntsville before, and it's pretty obvious that he, living outdoors, as they say. And Q was generous enough to step up and do the right thing tonight. Who knows what this guy needs? Who knows what decisions or choices he's made in life? But one way or another, he's a human being walking down the road, and he looked like he was hungry, did he not?
He did.
So Q would never shout himself out. Shout out Q the messenger.
Shout out Q.
Well done, sir. Well done. Human beings are human beings, and we should all stick together when we can.
Indeed.
Oh shit! I'll shout myself out.
Shout yourself
out. Hey, if I won a major award, I'm gonna give thanks to myself. I'm not thanking God. I'm not thanking my mom. I'm thanking Q Darden. Q the messenger.
Talk that
I
shit,
want to
Q.
shout out myself. Pat myself on the back.
Look, this is the man at his last birthday party who led the room in his own rendering of "For He's a Jolly Good Fellow" at his own birthday party.
You got to do it. You got to do it. If you don't love yourself, who will? I love it. Set the tone.
I've been doing that for 2 years, like on my birthdays. I want to hear, as opposed to happy birthday, which is cool. I want to hear from "He's a Jolly Good Fellow."
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like on my birthday.
I like it.
And it's my birthday, so.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun. I was there and I sang along and we had a blast. We had a good time.
Right.
I like that.
But
I like that.
what says you?
What say I?
Yeah.
On the Jolly Good Fellow?
On the story.
Oh, on the story. Okay. Man, I'm trying to
A
think.
vendor, tales from a vendor.
Man, I'm
Tales from a
I'm
vendor.
trying to think, man. All of the I really haven't seen anything
Most markets are pretty
too
cool
noteworthy.
and
This
laid back.
chilling, yeah.
And most people that come to markets have good attitudes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah, the most that I've ever really dealt with has never really been like a vendor or a customer. It's probably been just me dealing with the elements, having to deal with wind or rain or anything like that.
You ever had a tent blow away?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
How many times? How many times you had a
Only
tent
once.
blow? Only once. Okay.
I went.
So you learned.
Yes. Yeah. That thing took off, man.
Oh yeah, it's like a kite, man.
It took off. It was
A
crazy.
sail. That bad boy will take off.
Where were we? I think that was actually we're gonna be there next week. It was the Cliff Farms like fall festival. And we were wrapping up the event.
Cliff Farms?
Clift Farms, CLIFT.
Yeah,
Out there in Madison. Yeah. Yeah, and I'd finished packing everything up. For some reason thought it'd be smart to remove the tent weights and put them in the car before I packed up the tent. And I came back and my tent was going for a ride.
Oh, you rookie.
Went for a ride.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, man. It was crazy.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Thankfully, that is something I will say about the vendor community. They see a flying tent, everyone's coming.
Everyone step up.
Everyone steps up. So I love that. So they all stepped up quick. But yeah, man, that thing was going for a ride. Frame bent, the whole 9 yards. But
you had to replace it?
Yeah.
You had to replace it. Dang.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
But it's okay. I learned my lesson that day for sure.
Okay.
But,
so go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no, that was it.
You say you like to do jujitsu.
Yes, jujitsu.
And you want to do MMA.
Yep.
What's the hardest you ever been hit in the face?
Probably in sparring. Yeah.
Did it make you think twice?
Nah. Nah. When I get hit in the face, it just makes it doesn't make me mad, but it focuses me. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I done had my bell rung before, and I was like, I never want to experience that again.
And that's the thing. Maybe I haven't gotten hit hard enough.
Get hit sucks, man.
Yeah.
You get hit square in the nose or hit in the eye. It's like, oh my goodness, don't do that no more.
Okay. Yeah. You just woke up a memory because I did get hit pretty hard. His name was Roman.
Okay.
Back when
there
I
we
was,
go. Big roll. Robbie roll.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Roman got me good. That's back when I was training.
Girl's name?
What'd you say?
What was the girl's name?
Oh, no. We're sparring still. Hey, so that don't move like that.
Is this protected sparring, like the headgear?
Yeah.
Heavier gloves? What?
So we were doing 16-ounce gloves.
16 ounces, which is pretty. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good.
That's like a full pound.
Yeah,
of
16 ounces.
But he got.
He still rocked.
Oh yeah, he got me square. He got me square in the nose. Ooh. And it was to the point to where I was like, am I bleeding? Is it broken? But your face is at the same time so numb that you can't even tell, So I was just like, okay, just keep moving. But man, that one got me. That one got me.
Big roll, rock
Rome
your
taught me a lesson. Rome had me like, am I supposed to be here?
Right.
I got a college degree. Let me get back in the lab in front of that computer, bro.
I went to school. I go to school to get my
I'm a civilian.
Right.
But nah, that was a good lesson for me.
Man.
Sometimes you got to get punched in the face, man.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like
never
you
want
don't
to get
know.
punched in the face. I could go the rest of my life without getting punched in the face.
I hear you, man.
And be totally okay with it.
I hear you, man.
Don't punch me in the face.
Have you ever had a concussion?
If I did, I didn't know it. But no, I don't think I have.
That's probably what most of them say.
I don't think I have. I don't think but I've been hit in the face.
Yeah.
And it's not pretty for me, and I'm a small dude. I remember we used to box when I was in high school. We'll get together in my homeboy's basement, and we had two sets of gloves. We had a set of 12 ounces and a set of 8 ounces.
Oh, who gets the 8 ounce?
That's the question. Who gets the 8 ounces?
Player one.
You want to be the one with the 8 ounce gloves because getting hit with them 8 ounce gloves, almost you can feel the knuckles piercing through them.
It does not take much. Like,
it don't take much.
Just going like this, you can feel that.
You feel that knuckle.
You don't need much to hurt somebody.
And I remember one time I signed up. It was my turn to go up, and I was boxing this guy. He was younger than me, a year under me, but he was bigger than me. And it brings into reality like how much size matters, size and weight. And I tried to like come up and duck under a punch, and he just caught me just right. Luckily, I had a couch behind me.
Yeah.
He knocked me out. Laid me out on that
You got
couch.
somewhere to sleep.
And somebody came and grabbed me. Like, I felt a little shame. I was like, dang, the little dude done knocked me out. You know,
You were
but,
stealth camping.
yeah, but yeah. I was stealth camping. He had the 8s, and he outweighed me by like 40 pounds. You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
it makes all the difference.
So, what do you guys think about the concept that bare knuckle fighting is safer than fighting with gloves? Because
I've heard that.
if you hit somebody with bare knuckles, it hurts your hand.
Ah.
And there's only so many times you can do that in a round. Whereas with gloves, you can pound them in the head all day long and you're not going to
throttle it.
break your hand.
I
And so
see.
there's an incentive with bare. I'm not saying I know. I'm saying I heard this probably on Rogan or something, whatever it is. But, maybe it's bloodier. Bare knuckle is bloodier because you're going to get cuts, especially when you do hit them in the face or whatever, and then on your hands and what have you. But it's also going to discourage some of that contact with hard body points, especially the skull, and that that constant getting hit over and over is what causes what CTE is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but it makes a lot of
It
sense.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me.
I've never been in any organized fight where you could actually hit each other. When I was a kid, I did that taekwondo karate, in like a strip mall, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of them was I mean, it was good, it was what it was.
Mm-hmm.
We broke boards and stuff. Of course, that just makes me realize how easy it is. You see that on TV and it looks like it's something, and then there's like a 7-year-old doing it, and you're like, okay, it's
Yeah.
not necessarily that cool.
Yeah.
But there was no contact in that kind of thing. The only fighting I ever did was, how guys get in fights, high school or what have you. I got in a couple of bar fights when I was a little bit older, but you didn't want to hit somebody in the head if you could help it, especially not with a fist because you were going to, break your hand, and now you got to go to work tomorrow with, whatever else it is. My thing was always hit them in the stomach, and if that didn't stop them, hit them in the throat because that always does if you can catch them there, But if you miss and hit their chin, now you both hurt,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know. That was always my philosophy: was hit something soft, hard as you can,
That's about it. Yeah.
and preferably use an elbow.
Mm-hmm.
I can live with a bruised elbow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, nowadays I'm always choose peace or try to walk away or some type of conflict resolution. But if it get to that point where we can't resolve it with words or hey, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna shoot you.
I was just about to say,
I'm not fit to fight no more.
yeah.
I'm too old to be fighting.
Like that's
somebody.
I hear you.
I'm too pretty. I'm too small
Yes,
and pretty.
sir.
Trying
Yes,
to
sir.
fight anybody. I'm just gonna shoot you, man. Like, look, I did everything I could.
Yeah. That's the main thing. Like I've never really been in a fight like that outside of the gym, just mainly because like
For
I
one
don't
thing, you
think
look like a
anyone's-
dude not to be messed with. I'll be
Okay.
honest with you, man. If
I
I saw you on the
appreciate that.
street, look, if you said move, I'd be like, hey, my bad, man. I didn't mean to be standing right there. I'm sorry.
I
Like if
feel
you
you.
put a mean look in your face, I'd be like, okay, man.
okay. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll
He's
take
lifted
it.
more weights than I have, that's for sure.
But these guys, it's like I just don't know. I feel like I would have a commitment to just use hands that whoever I'd have a problem with would maybe not honor. I'm always worried that if I was to ever fight with somebody, they would start pulling out knives or guns or whatever. I'm just like, you know what I mean? You just never know who is what out here. So,
That's 100%. I got a story about that.
oh, okay.
I was at a club downtown with my wife seeing a band. It was Highly Suspect. Hello, my name is Human. Anyways, I'm sitting down. That's why I'm out of tune, y'all. I'm sitting down. If I could stand up, I could do
Yeah.
it right.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were down there, and this drunk 20-something guy kept backing up as he was dancing to the music and backing up into Jessica. There was plenty of room. This was not, asses to elbows, as they say. There was, you had room to dance and, have a good time, but he kept losing his, he was drunk, whatever. And by the third time of Jessica being polite about it, I stepped in, and when he went to bump into her, I was there instead and whispered in his ear right quick. And he decided he wanted to blow up. I mean, he wanted to fight right there in the bar. Like I said, he was drunk. I was carrying a gun and a knife. I don't leave the house without something because I'm old. I can't be getting into some fist fight. Like Q said, come on, man. I was most definitely armed. And thankfully, I was, old enough and smart enough, been through enough. I'm not fixing to start shooting somebody, especially in a nightclub. However it is, that's going to go bad. But honestly speaking, I don't think the kid would have been a whole lot of trouble. He was a drunk 25-year-old. He probably looked like a computer programmer. He was probably real good at video games. I don't think it would have too many pokes in the stomach and he would have been folded over like a little girl. But I didn't want to do that either because, again, I was, I'm carrying. I don't want to talk to the police when I'm carrying a gun in a nightclub. I'm not sure what they're going to think about it.
Mhm.
That's for dire emergencies only. You know what I'm saying? But if he'd have jumped us in the alley out back, it might have been a bad night for him. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's one of the reasons why I do carry a firearm. You never know somebody else is going to have that responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You ever had somebody pull a gun on you?
I have not.
Q?
Negative. But I've been around shooting, in the neighborhood, shots ring out.
Shots fired. Yeah.
Shots fired. Boom, boom, boom. We take off running.
Mhm.
That's your immediate reaction. Take off running. And at the time, being younger, you really didn't know the danger you were in.
Mhm.
Then you look it back like, man, could have got shot.
Yeah.
Somebody shooting right across from us.
Yeah.
One of the bullets could have easily hit me. But yeah. Now, like I said, now it's peace and love, and I would try to walk away from a situation before I even, commit to trying any type of violence.
Peace and love and maybe bullets.
As a last resort.
Yeah.
Peace and love, and but there's an old saying that says an armed society is a polite society.
Yep.
And there is truth to that. I don't know if it's the truth, but there is most definitely truth in that if the other person has the capability to, all jokes aside, a person who looks like you do, like he could handle himself in an altercation if he needed to, people are much less likely to push you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you knew everybody was carrying a gun, I think we talked about this one time about mandatory gun ownership in homes. That was a thing in Cobb County, Georgia. Where are you from? It is Cobb County. I'm pretty sure it was Cobb County. Right. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
But I do think there's a sense of responsibility that maybe some people don't have. I mean, we see that with the school shootings. These people are intentionally doing people harm. And some of these road rage incidents would be a lot worse if people were willing to, it doesn't need to be the Wild West, that's for sure. But that having been said, if two people want to agree to have a duel and stand back to back and however it's done, should those two people be allowed to make that choice for themselves?
Hey, you're a grown man. Yeah.
There is a thing called mutual combat. Like if you and your buddy, decide that you can't get on, you got beef and you want to fight, you can, I think in some states at least, you can declare we're agreeing that we're going to fight one another. And, there can't be assault charges pressed because we both, it's like boxing. You're agreeing to fight one another, and I'm pretty sure you can do that in an informal setting. And I'm pretty sure it's called mutual combat.
I believe it.
I challenge you.
Seriously.
Pull off your glove and smack him across
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, it's on.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's funny.
10 paces to shoot. I wonder what, I would cheat, man. I ain't taking.
You going 5 paces?
I'm going 5. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
1, 2.
A win's a
boom.
win.
A win's a win.
If I owe you something, get it from God.
Oh God, no shade, man. I'm shooting, man.
That's funny.
So, what type of engineer are you?
I'm an aerospace engineer, but I work for Raytheon, so I work in missile defense systems and things like that.
Okay. So when you say
the security clearance,
I do.
when you say aerospace, you're talking like airplanes,
missiles in particular,
missiles, projectiles, anything like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I can say. That's cool. I don't know where else to go with that one. Hey,
it's cool, but yeah.
I'm gonna go here, Q. Mr. Aerospace Engineer, specializing in rockets, things that fly higher than the atmosphere. Am I right?
Yes. Yeah.
Is the Earth flat or round?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Smarter than all of us.
That's a damn good question there, Shane.
I think it's round. I think it's round. I mean, I hear the people that say like, "Oh, you haven't been up there, so who are you to say?" And I have not done the math to. I've heard that there's math that you can do that says that shit proves that the Earth is not round. But I'm in the Earth is round camp. I will say. I'll entertain it. I'll entertain the conversation. I'll entertain it. But wait, we got some flat earthers here?
I'm a flat earther.
Oh yeah, let's talk, man. Let's talk. Yeah.
I'm a flat earther just based off my natural senses.
Okay.
Yeah, we got some high points, we got some low points, but I think overall it's flat.
Mm-hmm.
Just naturally. Like if I never seen a globe, we didn't have access to the technology we have now. If you just ask me, is the Earth round or flat? I'll say it's flat.
Okay.
And I would say we're definitely not spinning as fast as they say we're spinning through space.
Okay, that was about to be my next question. This is a little bit of a segue, but do you think space is real?
Yes.
Okay.
Space is definitely real, but I don't think we can get there.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think above us is water. That's why the sky is blue. Like they try to give us these crazy formulas and say, okay, this reflects off of this and that and that. It's blue because it's water up there. You can't get through the damn space. And what's stopping that water? It's a big layer up there, a thick layer of atmosphere that holds everything back.
So you think beyond our atmosphere is
It's water, another ocean.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Okay.
Another ocean. And I think the moon and the sun is inside our atmosphere.
Okay.
You ever seen the moon? You can see sky behind the moon in certain cases.
Mm-hmm.
The sun's so bright, it's hard to look up there and look at what's going on with the sun. But if you look at the moon, it looks like it's inside our area.
Gotcha.
If you look at the moon.
I got you.
Like, man, why is it sky behind the moon? It's here. It's here with us. That's my opinion.
I hear
Just
what you're saying.
naturally, I haven't did no research and nothing, but just naturally it tells me
I
that.
gotcha. So do you think
These are my conclusions.
So you think the Earth is a disc with like a width?
What you mean?
So you don't think that the Earth is a sphere, right?
No,
You think that it's flat,
like a bowl.
like a bowl.
Yes, land is on top of this. Like, let's say all the water below us
Mm-hmm.
is the bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say even when you add in the atmosphere, it might look round,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more like this, as opposed to a ball. You get what I'm saying? Like we're in a bowl, we have maybe a dome. We seen the show The Dome. We have a dome over us that I'm saying is our atmosphere. Above that dome is water.
Gotcha.
And so below us, what
water.
below us is
Water.
and the land masses float on the water.
That's it.
Okay, and
So, because they've dug deep. I know this. They dug deep. I think it was the Russians, and they came to water. They hit water once they got so far down.
have you heard the audio of the project? I want to say it was in Siberia somewhere, but they did a project to see how deep they could drill, and they drilled the deepest hole anybody's ever gone, however far this was.
What did they find?
They dropped a microphone down in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear the audio online. If it's real, I mean, if you believe it's real or it's not. It was also on Art Bell, so make your decisions. But they dropped a microphone down in there, and it sounds like hell, screaming and hollering and just wailing, and like a woman's getting her ass beat times a million. It's it's pretty eerie. Now again, I didn't see the microphone. You know what I'm saying? Like people can say anything. Whether or not this is true, you can make any kind of audio. So whether or not that's true, I'm just saying if you go online and Google that, you'll find an audio that sounds really creepy. And supposedly it's the middle of the earth. Now, that having been said, I believe the earth is round too. One of the reasons I believe the earth is round is because I spoke to an actual astronaut here at the Space Center, and I can't remember her name now, but apparently she's a common figure down there. I've got a picture with her somewhere. But
if I spoke to a paid actor, that might change my opinion too.
Well, there you go. There you go. But it could be. No, that's an excellent. That's an excellent one. And why would she make herself continually available and keep hanging on down at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, if not to be that token one that says, "Yeah, I've been there," and and she seems very grandmotherly, like matronly, like she would never lie to you. That'd be the perfect person for him to, Hey, not only will you never have to work again, but your kids, your grandkids, they're all going to be set up. All you got to do is keep telling the same lie. I mean, that's how you do it. But that's a lot of people that have to believe the lie. Like if you believe that we've never been to the moon, the number of people that you would have had to get to buy into that, and only, 5 of them or whatever ever having come out and said that, tried to say that it wasn't true. That's a lot of folks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a conspiracy on that level is going to be hard to hold up.
Yeah.
Not saying I got the answers.
Hey, I don't either. I'm just basing it off my natural.
Sure.
I do think that first moon landing, the one where they had like footage and you can see the people clearly on strings and stuff. I do think that one was manufactured. Have we ever been to the moon? I don't know. I do think that it's interesting that we have not gone back. I do think that
since the
interesting.
70s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been years.
Yeah.
It's been years since we went back to the moon.
Mhm.
Or did we find something on the moon that we was like, we might want to stay away?
Yeah.
You know, what did we come across on the moon?
Yeah.
You know,
I do think
what's
that
on the
is
back? What's
interesting.
on the back of the moon? We only see one side of it at all times.
Maybe.
Why we only see one side of the moon?
Maybe we found proof of life or something else, or visitors from another planet somewhere, and they covered it up then, and that's why maybe the whole moon landing was real, but the footage is all faked, like it seems to be faked, or at least a lot of it does.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't the government come out and admit that some of it was fake? That they'd used stock footage from a practice launch or something like that? I'm almost positive that's
I'm not
the case.
certain about that. I don't know.
I don't put nothing past the government.
Oh, nothing.
You know, but
Nothing.
to your point, what we talked about earlier, like this just being a big simulation, I think it is. We in a simulation.
I think so.
I think we're a bunch of individual consciousness, living a human experience inside this simulation.
The Matrix.
Basically, inside
Sure.
the Matrix. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like we're a whole
100%.
bunch of different consciousness, and let's say the operator of this simulation is it feeds off of us.
Mm.
We're its power source because we're nothing but energy, and you know energy cannot be created or destroyed. You know, so when we die, okay, our conscious go back into, let's say, the mothership or whatever. You know, goes back into where all our conscious comes together.
The oversoul or whatever you'd like to call it.
Whatever you want to call it. The conscious goes heaven. You know, if you're looking at religion, let's say let's call it heaven. Our conscious goes back to heaven. Our conscious could be our soul.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we're being controlled in this simulation.
I agree with you that
We're used as a battery, basically, like how the Matrix tried to tell us. You know,
Mhm. I think it's I think there's definite potential that we could be in a simulation. I don't think anything outside the realm of human creativity is outside the realm of possibility.
I think you're right about that. And I was going to say, not only are we a battery, an energy source, but we're also a source of, what's the word I'm looking for? Server power, for lack of it, like think of our mind. We've got our body that generates energy, and it powers the most amazing computer you can think of. And we all got one sitting right up here. And so if there's our biological computer, our brain. So in other words, I think it's not so much that we're being used for our energy as we are a self-powered computer program, for lack of or computer. You link a bunch of us together and you become a server. The same thing Google's got, stacks and stacks or whatever, these servers. We're the servers, but we have our own power source.
you said it right. We're programming.
Yeah.
That's all we are.
Yeah.
And I think you get people in a room like us. We're trying to get out of that programming.
A defibrillator for your mind.
Yeah.
Defibrillator for your mind.
Yeah. And conversations like this, just
Yeah. I don't even think it even would need to be that deep potentially. We could potentially just all be entertainment for some greater being than ourselves.
why not?
What if we're just in a video game? The same way that we play Sims 3 or play some story. Same way you watch a movie, or you can throw in a video game and play as a main character and see his whole life go through, and he thinks his life is just filled with trial and tribulation and whatever. That same thing could be happening to all of us. Everything that we, as three-dimensional beings, everything that we can interact with on a two-dimensional level, a fourth-dimensional being would be able to do with us.
Correct.
So
How many dimensions are there?
I think there's 11.
I think 11 too.
Yeah.
I heard 11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
It's 11 dimensions.
yeah, so a fourth dimensional being would be a god to us. He would, the way that we cannot interact with time, it would exist like the same way that depth exists for us. Like we only exist in X, Y, and Z.
Correct.
We can't interact in like with time.
So
we
that's
can
why
only
he
experience
could
it.
see like the beginning and the end.
Yeah. He'd be able to go into our lives like a god the same way that we could for any sort of two-dimensional space. So if I draw something on a piece of paper, I create a person, right?
Correct.
So the same way that I could go into that, if I created a person, I could go into him and change anything I wanted to about him. I could change anything, right? And he would have no real perception of what I was doing to him. They'd be able to
Your
do the same thing to
manipulation.
us. Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's wild. It's wild stuff to think about. You know, it can definitely send you on like a nihilistic spiral if you think about it too much.
It really could.
Which is why Rick and Morty, I think that's why Rick and Morty is such, have you seen that show? Rick
Yeah,
and Morty?
I finished it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen none of the new stuff. I think they came out with a new, like an anime version of it. You know?
I haven't seen it. But
but all the old Rick and Morty stuff,
Mhm.
man, it's insane.
yeah, but the premise of it is there, and I think it's very real. And there's a reason why it resonates with everyone, because there's potential there. The bottom line is that we just don't know. So we just don't know.
We don't know. We don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the beginning of all true knowledge, by admitting that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You ever know somebody who was so sure of what they believed in that for them, their belief became fact?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about flat earth and round earth or whatever. I think that anybody here faced with incontrovertible proof, whatever that would be, if we could somehow go up go up 100,000 miles in a capsule together and be looking out the window, then we'd know for sure, right? We'd either see the ice wall or we'd see the curve.
Yeah.
And barring that, I think anybody here would have an open mind, if no other reason, because it's interesting conversation. But sometimes you talk to people and they're so absolutely convinced of their own belief that to them it's reality and they can't accept anything different.
When all they did was read something different from you.
Yeah,
We both just read something or heard someone that we trusted say something. Why are you so sure?
Beware all earnestness.
Yeah.
I heard Mike Rowe say that one time.
That's a good one.
Gentlemen, this time's gone by fast. This has been it's so interesting having guests here. You're the third guest that we've had, and it's been a very different experience, a great experience each time. Each time's been very different. Something tells me that we're going to invite you back as a guest another time.
I appreciate
I
it.
could definitely see that happening.
Yeah, no, let's definitely get into that conversation some more. I think there's a lot of rabbit holes we could go down there. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in a, you know what it is? Oh, you've been to my house, Q. We need to all put a table on that deck out by my house, and we need to have a poker night out there sometime.
That'd be fun.
And record the whole thing. Oh, that's exactly what I was going to say. Just put a good omnidirectional mic in the middle.
Yeah. Aliens,
yeah.
conspiracy.
Yeah, listen, that could go anywhere. Bring some cigars out. And we do have a fine bottle of Woodbridge Reserve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, for sure.
I got to thank our guest for a fine gift. A fine gift. We appreciate it. A bottle of Woodford Reserve.
No, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
We've enjoyed having you here. This is Dylan Russell with Sauce Daddy. Shout out Sauce Daddy.
Appreciate y'all.
Dylan, before we sound off, what do you want to shout out? What are you doing next? Where do you want people to come and see you?
Yeah, we do
website, socials.
So we have a website, saucedaddy.org, that we sell all of our products and merch on. We have our hot sauce there, as well as some pretty cool T-shirts, some hats. We're going to have some varsity jackets coming out soon. So if you guys want to check that out, feel free to go there. We also have a pretty strong social media presence. You can find us on Instagram and most social medias at SauceDaddy20. And if you're local to Alabama, if you want to come out to a local farmers market and see us, we're at Green Street on Thursdays. We're at Low Mill and Providence Farmers Markets on Saturday. And on Sunday, you can find us at Mid-City at the camp. So come out and see us. Best hot sauce in Huntsville.
I agree with that. It's Dylan Russell with Sauce Daddy. Some of the best hot sauce you can have in the world, not just Huntsville.
Appreciate
Anywhere you're going to go. And I've had sauce. That's probably a good time to end it. Q, close us out with something fun or something, man. Here you go.
No, that probably is a good time. So, Dylan, we typically like close out with like some type of words of wisdom,
Okay.
you know, for the audience. Do you got anything you want to, a quote that really comes to mind or that really had an impact on your life? Anything like that?
A quote.
Or a piece of
Yeah.
advice.
Or a piece of advice,
Sure, whatever.
an original piece. It could be whatever, you know.
Okay. I would say
Oh, Democrat.
Kamala. You know, Kamala means terrible in Norwegian.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Downtown
I swear to God, it does.
Crown, Kamala
I swear to God,
Harris.
it does.
I can believe it. You know, hey,
Yeah.
Democrat. That was a good one.
That was funny.
Oh man.
That's funny, man. Yeah.
Oh,
I would
man.
say if it was a quote that I think about pretty much on a daily basis, it would be from Earl Nightingale. And he says that he defines success in a very particular way. He calls success it's like the gradual pursuit of a worthy ideal. So in his definition of success, anyone on the path towards their goal earnestly is successful. So to be successful it's not an accolade. It's not a position. It's not somewhere that you need to get to. It's essentially an earnest journey. And if you are doing your best to get somewhere where you believe wholeheartedly that you need to go, that you are successful. So that's something that has really propelled me in my journey as of late. Just focusing on the journey, focusing on the system, trying to become better every day for myself, my family, my friends, the people that I care about, the people that I want to protect as I move forward in life. So that's what I would like to impart to anyone listening to this. You are successful as long as you are trying in earnest.
That's amazing, Dylan. And you did a good job at unpacking that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. We out.
Peace.
Thank y'all.